Hello, Facebook. Welcome to Melissa's Musings. As you know, I'm Melissa Steele, real estate agent and Melissa's Musings host. So it's a little bit of an odd time to be coming at you live, but I figured there might be some people in bed perusing the internet. Hello, Jed, you being one of them. Welcome to Melissa's Musing. So I was actually, sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll wake up with a stomach ache, and like the silver lining is that I get really optimal think time. And so last night was one of those evenings, and I was actually lying in bed, and I was thinking about the fact that so often I feel like Boots, my cat, teaches me really valuable lessons. And I've done a musing on some of the lessons he taught me prior, which, long story short, I did a whole musing on midnight conversations with my cat and the lessons that he teaches me. And there was basically this one night where I woke up 3 different times during the night. And the first night I woke up and Boots sleeps right on me. We snuggle together. It's amazing. And hey Nikki, hi Tyler. Thank you guys so much for joining in and for watching. So I'm all snuggled up with Boots, and the first time I wake up in the night, I think to myself as I move him over, I'm like, oh, poor buddy, and I move him to the side. And then the second time, same thing, move him off of me and move him to the side. And the third time, it was very interesting because it's the middle of the night and I have a very clear understanding of the voice in my head. And right away, as I went to move Boots for the third time, the voice in my head said, don't move him. And it's, pardon my French here, but it's important for the lesson because the voice in my head literally said, don't move him, he'll think you're a fucking bitch. And I thought it was so interesting to me. Because immediately I was like, huh, that is so interesting, because literally my cat doesn't have ill will, does not have bad thoughts. So last night as I was laying in bed, I was thinking of a Planet Earth episode that I've recently watched this week. And there's a scene within one of the episodes, the mountain episode. There's a season 2 of Planet Earth out there, you guys, on Netflix, and it's amazeballs. It's so good. And there's a mountain episode. It's all about different terrains where animals live. And in the mountain episode, there's a very awesome clip where a mountain goat family, this like little mountain goat family gets chased by a predator, and these little mountain goat babies are forced down the mountainside, which is quite literally like a sheer cliff. And these mountain goats jump and flit and run at like highest speeds possible to get away from this predator, and they leap amongst the rocks on this sheer rock front. And what I found super fascinating is that us as human beings, being super cognitive and super smart, oftentimes that like cognition and that grasp on our knowledge is what actually holds us back, because the rationale and the thought process behind should or shouldn't I do something, often the rational mind is telling you, no, don't do that. Like, quite literally, don't jump down the side of this mountain cliff. Like, you will, there's a high likelihood that you're going to die. So only because of that cognitive ability do we often hold ourselves back, right? But as I'm watching this Planet Earth episode, I'm finding it so fascinating that these little baby goats, they're not sitting on the edge of the cliff thinking to themselves, can I make that jump? Is that feasible for me to hit that next rock? Like, if I'm going at speeds of this, a velocity, is the likelihood of me being able to ping from rock to rock feasible? Like, if the baby goat was sitting on the side of the mountainside, having this cognitive conversation with itself, before you know it, it would quite literally be eaten. Like, this is survival of the fittest and this is nature. And so what I found so fascinating was that these goats, they don't take a moment to think about the leap before they jump. They simply take the leap and they trust themselves that they're going to land. And they're able to do this at incredible speed and velocity. They're able to, save themselves from predators because they're able to quite literally, and yes, some do die. I know that Planet Earth did not show me those that died. And granted, that would be the equivalent of our failure in personal life, where we take that leap and don't make the jump and our footing falls and we get to fail and we get to learn from it. We're not actually on a metaphorical sheer cliff, right? We're not on a physical, actual sheer cliff in what our goals are. Hello, Therese. Thanks for joining. Sorry guys, my hair is doing something very bizarre. I don't know if it's looked this way all day, but this is like the first time I'm looking in the mirror and I feel like Minnie Mouse for some reason. I don't know. In this visual, I'm feeling like these are my mouse ears. Anyways, I'm going to continue on. Focus up, Melissa, focus. So I found it just so interesting that, like, us as human beings, right, we'll set these massive goals and the things that we want to do for ourselves and what our intentions are and what our commitments are for. And then it all seems to fizzle out when we lose the gusto, or when we let the fear settle in, or when we talk ourselves out of it. So ultimately, sometimes while that cognitive ability and that inner conversation can save us from, you know, potential risks, I would say that it can also save us from some pretty massive opportunities. And I would encourage you guys to really reflect on taking that leap, to first of all watch the Planet Earth episode Mountains, because it's super badass, and not only is that goat clip really awesome, but the whole episode's pretty sweet. I love to talk myself out of things. Trace, we all do. That's like, that's human nature. That's our rationale. So, you know, as I'm watching this episode, I just found it so fascinating. It became such a beautiful metaphor for taking the leap and for trusting ourselves, to know that we've got it. Like, to see, you know, to hear the narrative of the story, which is that these little baby goats were born just hours prior and are just getting on their feet. And then, like, you know, quite literally hours into life, the best way that mom gets to teach them how to scale down a mountainside is when a predator comes, because it's literally the time that it gets to happen. And so I encourage you guys, if you are holding yourself back from taking that massive leap, if you have been over calculating your footings and making sure that you're going to land peacefully, don't do that to yourself. Take the leap. Fail. See what happens. And I encourage you to really make that move, because I have confidence that it's going to work out. I feel like for the dozens of times we've taken the leap, yes, I would say 10 to 20% it solidly does not work out. And should you be, like, quite literally leaping off a mountainside, you would die. But 8 times out of 10, I would say consistently, if you're trying and trying and trying and trying and trying again, and taking those leaps and having the faith in yourself that you're going to land with solid feet, I have the confidence in you that you can absolutely do it. Therese, my nails are amazing. You guys, so Therese just said, oh my god, I love your nails. And let's take a moment to shout them out right now. So I used to love my nail technician. She was amazing, and she is still amazing, but now lives in Colorado. She recently moved from San Diego to Colorado. And I just experimented with a new nail technician, and you guys know I love my nails. Like, look at this situation. It's so good. And I'm actually really glad to be doing the, like, a little further away from the camera today, because I look tired. So you guys, yeah, fabulous, right? Give me some love if you love my nails as much as I do. So take that leap. You get to do it. And the important lessons to learn from animals is that they don't hold, like, literally, animals live so in the moment that, like, it's almost sad the level of forgetfulness that Boots has. Like, that poor thing, I will literally cut his little cat nails and he'll be petrified and having a moment. And like 2 seconds later, I put a treat in front of his face and he's like, treat? And it's a whole new beautiful moment, and he loves me even more than the prior moment. So I encourage you to take those lessons from animals, to truly trust the process, to trust that you've got this, to trust that you've got the ability to take the leap and to make it and to have sure footing when you land, and to live in the moment and to know that wherever you're at right now is totally okay, and it's going to be better tomorrow. I love you guys. Talk to you soon, and thanks for tuning in. I know this was a weird time, but so appreciate you jiving with me as always. Love you guys.